This looks like classic Gothic architecture, at least in my mind, unschooled as that is. I'm going to take a flying guess that this is some allusion to a antiquity artifact memorializing the holiness of pregnancy in fertile women. This large building anchors this corner of this park. We'll proceed into the park in a few minutes. I find that detail there interesting and wonder if it has more significance than simply symbol. Embellishment I haven't noticed before here, I mean around this town, are these glazed brick. It's a particularly pretty tower element. Imagine if you had a wealthy home in Jackson and this was a detail you incorporated somehow. There's some more of that glazed brick used for detail. Some sculpture in its fenced enclosure. This end of the building is pretty with those double arched balconies. Immediately we jump into the rest of this park, loaded with what look like athletic and children's equipment. Monument to poet Vermanes. This monumental sculpture, apparently composed of two major blocks, just exudes permanent power. And I mean that in the sense of intellectual value, as often country's famous poets do. As we're approaching a magnificent church, at least from the top. I haven't seen the bottom yet. Guessing that this is the park's florist's building. Nicely done for its extreme utility. Looking around outside the fence, I'm trying to get some interesting views. Pretty much obscured. This gives us an idea of the layout of the church to the right, and then this chapel tower, perhaps built at a later time, and interestingly this little gazebo here down in the lower left, as well as that connecting passageway between those two buildings or structures. Beautifully dramatic church. Reminds me of those I saw in Eastern Europe somewhere. Now we're in the upper right-hand corner, which is really the eastern corner as you're looking at it. And I'll cross the street somewhere here and navigate down through this park and back to the hostel. These I call esplanades, or pedestrian corridors lined with trees, and here double rows of trees looking back towards my hostel and the Freedom Monument. Counterpoint to that church, this Radisson Hotel reflects a lifestyle I would hope never to be forced into. Just about the tip of my thumb, and we're going to enter this park. This, I believe, is the building that houses the various ministries of government. It is a country of forests. Something like 80% of it is forests, and its parks are gratuitously able to reflect that. For some reason, this beautiful fountain is not fountaining. Raised area and a theater building, if you will, for outdoor presentations. Very nice. Kids, of course. Quite as inviting as the other parks for sitting, but certainly perhaps enough. These give the sense of antiquity. And I notice there's a whole row of these religious candles. Exit the bottom pointy part of Vermanes Garden and walk through that developed area down to our river park and follow it up along its right-hand bank to my drag and then back to my hostel. And we enter our river park once again. I think componist may be either a composer. That name seems similar to the poet, but maybe not. Everywhere in the world seem to be the early morning fishermen, wherever there's a possible chance. We'll cross over this pedestrian bridge, take a look at that monumental structure over there, at least the facade of one, as we pass this beautiful river. Isn't it interesting how every country's capital needs to have a national opera? But how many citizens ever attend an actual national opera? A gentleman and his lady and dog. A lilac bush composed of 3 different colored lilacs.
Exhibitions, events, and other things in English as well. Behind it, if you would go there, you would find the old working-class suburb of Agenskant, which is also an absolute treasure. It's an old working-class suburb with wooden buildings, little gardens, cobblestone streets, small cafes, little local bars that nobody knows about. This is everything